Good evening, you're watching the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. First, the headlines. The banking credit of commercial banks in the Sultanate during 2016 stands at 19.7 billion Omani riyals. The second National Pediatric Conference discusses a number of topics related to child health. And several people are killed in suicide attacks on 2 security service bases in the Syrian city of Homs. Those are the headlines, and now for the news in detail. The banking credit of commercial banks in the Sultanate during 2016 stood at 19.7 billion Omani riyals. The Central Bank of Oman's CBO pointed out that personal loans reached around 40% of the total banking credit, followed by the construction sector by 8%, including the service sector. The CBO also clarified that the total credit allocated for the financial institution sector had reached 1.7 billion Omani riyals, and the mining sector stood at around 1 billion riyals. With the participation of more than 250 specialists and doctors in the field of child health from various governorates of the Sultanate, the second National Pediatric Conference was organised at Al Nada Hospital in the governorate of Muscat. It included discussion sessions and lectures on child mental health, emergency cases, child abuse, as well as congenital abnormalities. It was also considered an opportunity to exchange knowledge and expertise in this field. The governorate of North Batna witnessed rains with various intensity accompanied by hail. Villages of the Walaya of Rustak witnessed moderate rains that caused a number of wadis to overflow, like Wadi Bani Gafar. The Walaya of Nakdal as well as witnessed moderate to heavy rains, which led to the overflowing of Wadi Al Thawar and its tributaries. Suicide attacks on 2 security service bases in the heart of Syria's government held 3 cities of Homs killed 42 people today, overshadowing peace talks in Geneva. The Syrian Observatory for Human Rights director said that there were at least 6 attackers, and several of them blew themselves up near the headquarters of the State Security and Military Intelligence. State television reported that the Army Province Intelligence Chief, a close confidant of President Bashar al-Assad, was among the dead when the 6 suicide bombers struck in the heavily guarded Ghouta and Mahata neighborhoods. Syrian former al-Qaeda affiliate Fatah al-Sham Front said it carried out the suicide attacks in Homs. It said 5 of the militants had taken part in the assault on 2 heavily guarded districts in the heart of the city. Saudi Foreign Minister Abdel Al-Jubeir was in Baghdad for talks today, the first such visit by a chief diplomat from the kingdom in years. He met his Iraqi counterpart, Ibrahim al-Jafari. An Iraqi government official said it was the first visit to Baghdad by Saudi foreign minister since 2003, marking a key step in efforts to mend frosty bilateral relations. Iraqi Prime Minister Haider al-Abadi, who has been at the helm since 2014, has supported efforts to improve strained ties. Thamar al-Saban, whose credentials were received in January 2016, became the first Saudi ambassador to Iraq in a quarter of a century, after relations were cut following Saddam Hussein's invasion of Kuwait. But he left the same year after Baghdad demanded he was removed following remarks he made about an alleged plot to assassinate him and criticize he voiced on the Popular Mobilization Forces, which have played a key role in the fight against the Daesh group. Armed groups traded fire with heavy weapons in the center of Tripoli, injuring at least 9 people and paralyzing the Libyan capital. The fighting between 2 rival armed groups in eastern Tripoli erupted after one accused the other of kidnapping 4 of its members. The families trapped in the conflict zone of Abu Slim were appealing to the authorities to intervene to halt the violence, which has closed down the city center. Mediators had secured an overnight ceasefire, but fighting later resumed. Libya has been submerged in chaos since the fall and killing of Muammar Gaddafi in a NATO-backed 2011 armed uprising. Rival political authorities and militia have since been vying for control of territory and Libya's oil wealth. Still to come in our news bulletin. The National Museum of Egyptian Civilization, showcasing its deep-rooted history and heritage, was opened in Cairo. Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. The state of Kuwait marks today its 56th National Day, rejoicing the development achievements being witnessed in various fields. The state will also celebrate the 26th anniversary of the Liberation Day. The Sultanate and the state of Kuwait have developed historical relations and fruitful cooperation under the wise leadership of His Majesty Sultan Qaboos and His Highness Sabah Al Ahmed Al Jabbar Al Sabah. Kuwait's celebration coincides this year with setting its 2035 Vision Program, which will include implementing 146 developments, services, and touristic projects, in addition to achieving 5 strategic goals. The vision will be based on a number of pillars like effective governmental management, sustainable economy, and developed infrastructure. The state of Kuwait, during its celebration, revealed its general budget for the fiscal year 2017 to 2018, which approached 20 billion dinars. The Sultanate participates in the celebration of the 56th National Day with Kuwait and the achievements being accomplished in the field of education, health, infrastructure, economy, and tourism. The Sultanate and Kuwait signed last year a memorandum of cooperation to strengthen their investment volume. It includes constructing a refinery and pro-chemical industries complex in Duqm at a cost of around $7 billion. Besides that, the wise leadership of the two countries play a great role in supporting local and international peace through constructive dialogues and diplomatic efforts. Muscat International Book Fair, on its 22nd version, attracts various types of media means to broadcast and publish all of its events and activities. The book fair was accompanied by various programs, including interviews and dialogues with authors and writers, as well as signing ceremonies for new publications, seminars, and publishing houses. Al Farasa is a new program that broadcasts the event of the 22nd version of the fair through the Sultanate of Oman's general, cultural, and live channels, where a number of authors and media men are hosted. Through the Sultanate of Oman Radio, the followers of the event of the book fair could listen to the cultural dialogue sessions, including Book from Muscat program and many others. The social media sites also covered the events at the fair, such as signing ceremonies, lectures, and seminars about publishing houses, in addition to highlighting personalities who visited the exhibition from outside the Sultanate. The National Museum of Egyptian Civilization was opened temporarily in Cairo. The display halls in the museum included various items from antiques from the Egyptian civilization to showcase its deep-rooted history and heritage. The museum was designed with the latest equipment and technologies in this field to preserve the archaeological items in the best possible way. It is expected to include around 50,000 pieces from different historical periods. And now for the general weather forecast around the Sultanate. Partly cloudy skies will prevail over the northern parts of the Sultanate, with chances of rain with various intensity, accompanied by hail and thunder showers. The rest of the Sultanate will have clear skies with low clouds and fog over the governorates of Worcester and Dhofar. Winds will be southeasterly light to moderate, and the seas will be slight with a maximum wave height of 1 meter. is the Sultanate of Oman Television. Before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. The banking credit of commercial banks in the Sultanate during 2016 stands at 19.7 billion Omani riyals. The second National Pediatric Conference discusses a number of topics related to child health. And several people are killed in suicide attacks on 2 security service bases in the Syrian city of Homs. With that, we come to the end of tonight's news bulletin. From all of us here at the newsrooms and the studio, it's good night.